Desert Vipers boast one of the world's leading leg spinners in Wanindu Hasaranga. A T20 batting gun in England's Alex Hales, along with a quartet of Pakistan superstars. But last year's losing finalists have found the going tough in 2024, losing 2 out of 3 and sit outside of the top 4. Sharjah Warriors too have only won once this season and prop up the table. And they carry the scars of a batting meltdown here in Sharjah just 2 nights ago.
Here you go, another one. Is he going to take the catch? Would he do that? Yes, he does.
It's still early days in the DP World ILT20, but the Vipers and Warriors both know they can ill afford another loss tonight. Yes, another glorious night here in Sharjah and another fantastic battle on our hands here at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. It is match number 13. It is the Desert Vipers, last year finalists, taking on the at-home Sharjah Warriors. So I was speaking to the CEO of the tournament, David White, earlier. He said they're expecting a crowd here in Sharjah of up to 10,000 people. So we are expecting a whole lot of noise as we get ready for what will be a brilliant battle. So let's head out to the middle now with Natalie Germanos and the 2 captains for the toss.
2 teams looking to get into the top 4 in tonight's fixture of DP World ILT20. And for the toss, we've got the 2 captains, of course, in Colin Munro and Tom Kohler-Cadmore. The toss representative tonight is Zahid Shahabuddin, and the match referee is Simon Taufel. And it is Colin Munro who's got the coin.
Tails.
Tails is call.
And it is a head, so the Vipers have won the toss.
We're going to bowl. Yeah. Cheers.
Colin, what are you going to do and why?
We're going to bowl, and not 100% sure why, but we have to do something, I suppose. So, yeah, just come out and see what this wicket's going to do. It's obviously played in some different conditions the other night. It looked like it was a little bit tricky to bat on, but, yeah, hopefully we can. It's easier to bat on when you know that's what target you got in mind.
Looking at your fixtures, it's obviously a little bit congested in the last few days. You've had to manage your players. Tell us about the management of your team.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate, though, that we've got some world-class seamers too, so we can rotate and rest guys. So, same batters, but today, obviously, long journeys down to, or up to Abu Dhabi and then come to Sharjah. So, Jamal Mills misses out today. Woody gets an opportunity. Pachirana comes in as well, and Mohamed Amir is having a rest.
Looking at how things stand at the moment, a few games in, how important is a win tonight for your team?
Yeah, very important. It's, like I said, after the game 2, it's nice to be 1 from 1. If we go two from 4, it's better than 1 from 4. So yeah, for us it's about trying to do the little things well. Energy up in the field. I thought we were pretty good last time. We just didn't execute to a player that played really well too. So yeah, we've had a lot of meetings, which is good, but it's about executing out in the middle.
Good luck. Play well.
Cheers. Thank you.
New surface tonight, Tom. You had an opportunity obviously to see how the other surface plays. What's your thoughts on the pitch?
Yeah, it obviously looks very similar to the other night, so hopefully it can follow the other night's plan as well, and we get 180 and bowl them out for 80 odd.
Looking at your side, it's not quite gone your way at home, has it, over the 2 years? You haven't got the positive result yet. What do you think it'll take to get the win at home?
Obviously someone's got to stand up and kind of play that match-winning role, or obviously everyone's got to chip in at the right time. So it's probably a little bit easier if you just have that one standout performance, but I feel everyone's in a good place, everyone's confident, and actually from last game we took more positives than negatives. Obviously there were a fair amount of negatives from there, but almost the only way up is up, and us as a batting unit, we've got a clear plan. We're putting a line in the sand and kind of moving on from it, so hopefully kind of from tonight we can set a new tone.
Do you feel then you've found the right balance within your starting 11?
Yeah, I feel it's a constantly evolving thing throughout a tournament anyway, and it's just trying to make sure we are kind of giving ourselves the best chance to win every game and learning from every result. Whether we win or lose, it's kind of making sure we pick the best 11, what we feel for that evening is going to win the game. And I felt we've done that in every game, and we will keep evolving as the tournament goes on.
Good luck and play well.
Thank you very much.
So that's it. The news from the toss then is that the Desert Vipers have won the toss, and they say they're going to have a bowl first.
Thanks very much, Nat. Yes, a new surface tonight, but we've all moved in. Niall O'Brien and Jim Chopra, we've been here for the last 3 nights. Looking forward to what will be a cracking match. Let's see what's on the menu for tonight's show. Coming up in Cricket Safari, Azam Khan tells us how the brutal sport of mixed martial arts has helped shape his cricketing journey. Sharjah Warriors opener Martin Guptill reveals how to play the perfect straight drive. And we discuss Desert Vipers star Alex Hales and why the runs have dried up in the DP World ILT20. Yes, so an interesting time for the Sharjah Warriors. We saw them here just 2 nights ago. They had some issues, Niall, and they'll be wanting to put things right. We heard their captain, Tom Kohler-Cadmore, there at the toss. I mean, still talking about the team evolving. It's tough. You want to know your 11, I imagine, or your 16, whatever you're going to use with that new Super Sub rule. You want to know that from the get-go, don't you?
I think you want to know before the tournament starts what your strengths and weaknesses are. The fact that Tom Kohler-Cadmore is saying we're still evolving, we're constantly evolving, for me, that's a telltale sign of a side that's really struggling for confidence, that doesn't know what their best 11 is. So that's a worry. And it's actually showing out in their performance. That kind of lack of confidence is translating its way onto the field. That's a great ball. I don't mind that. That's soft. So a little bit hesitant. Again, weak. No commitment to the shot, just chipping the ball in the air. You know, that's a decent ball for Fazlak Faruqi. This is soft. Joe Denley trying to turn it leg side. So there's a lack of conviction. There's a lack of, I say, skill set there and game awareness. And it's testament, really, when you hear the captain talk about how they're going about their business, trying to find their way into the tournament. That's translating into productivity, or shall I say, lack of productivity. 5 ducks in that game and 3 first ballers. And when you're looking at the lack of commitment there with some of the shots, is that maybe not executing plans well enough, not adjusting quickly enough to conditions? What do you think it is? Is it just maybe too many chats, too many meetings, too much confusion with the messaging?
Their batting hasn't fired as well as their bowling has. That's been a major concern. You know, right at the top of the order, it hasn't been that consistency that they've been looking at. In the last season as well, they struggled, but not so much. So right now, they're looking at batters who can, you know, whereas the middle order doesn't come into play very early. It's the top order which is playing out there, at least a power play or maybe till the 7 or the 8 overs. And there's somebody who's actually carrying this batting order forward. So for Joe Denley to be coming in, and for Tom Kohler-Cadmore to be walking in at number 3 instead of a 4 or a 5, the very fact that he comes in early and then he says, right, do I rotate strike? Do I go on the attack? As opposed to the last season when he came in, he was just attacking. He had that license.
He was a star last year for this team. He was their star, actually, if you look at the way their season went. What is it this year that has made him just not look the same? He looks a bit hesitant at the crease, perhaps. Is it the captaincy getting the better of him? Was that the right decision for the Sharjah Warriors? It's a good call, because if you look through the whole lineup, there's not that many options. He's captained 17 times in his career. He's won 6 games. I'm sure it's having an effect on his game. Tom Kohler-Cadmore, when he's playing well, he's playing free spirit, clear mind, uncomplicated. His dismissal of the last game, caught and bowled Trent Bolt, I think it was, that to me says there's a little bit of lack of confidence, maybe some exterior pressure going onto the field. All right, well, one of the players the Sharjah Warriors will be looking to tonight is Martin Guptill, and we caught up with him before the tournament started to teach us about the perfect straight drive.
A lot of players like to pull the ball and cut the ball. I like to be straight to the point. I'm Martin Guptill, and I'm going to teach you about the straight drive. So the last straight drive I saw in a live game was Usman Khawaja in a test match against the West Indies. Let me try and explain how he's executed that so well. He's picked up the length nice and early. He's got his head into a really good position where he's coming forward into the ball, and he's just hit through the line of the ball. He hasn't tried to overhit it, he's just punched it down the ground. Between the bowler and mid-off, he executed a perfect straight drive and it's rolled all the way for 4 with perfect timing, beautiful grace, and just an excellent cricket shot. Last time I played one of those shots was it was definitely in the nets, unfortunately, not in the game, but in the nets. You know, when you really work hard on trying to perfect these shots, and when they come off, it's a really good feeling. So if you can do that in the nets, you can do it out in the middle.
Will we see a few of those tonight? Well, let's find out a little bit more about the conditions that we're playing on tonight. Let's head out to the middle now with Alan Wilkins and Wazim Akram from earlier.
We have moved some 3 pitches over from last night, which means that we have a shorter boundary on that side, some 63 metres, and we've got 71 on the other side, looks a bit further, and down the ground it's 76. But when you look here, it really isn't much of a hit anywhere. But, Wazim Akram, they seem to have lost the lawnmower again. Because how many years did you play here?
About 20.
About 20 years, and
yes.
I would say that there was never a blade of grass when you played.
Not even on the square. Never had a blade of grass. So this is very different, refreshing for me as a fast bowler. And I think, and this is just not a sprinkle grass, Alan. If you go near the pitch and if you see, it's a proper grass actually coming out of the pitch itself. So that's something very different. It's nicely rolled in as well, but it's quite thick. And of course, it's in patches too. And that means, Alan, the ball will seam around early on with the new ball, especially if you're bowling first.
Got a little twitch in the fingers, fancy a ball?
I mean, on this track, I think all the bowlers will be very excited, especially the seamers, because this will move around early on, at least for first 8 to 10 overs. And teams have to apply different strategy when they come out to bat.
You heard it from the horse's mouth.
So we can see why the Vipers have decided to have a bowl first. So talk us through the Sharjah Warriors side, Anjum, tonight.
Yet again, the focus will be on Martin Guptill and Johnson Charles, the highest run scorer so far. Charles had a very ordinary night the previous time they were playing at Sharjah. And of course, Lewis Gregory coming in, Joe Denley will just provide that solidity in the middle order, but the top order has to lead the way. It's nice that Chris Stokes maintains his position, and Mohammad Jawadullah did well with the ball last time.
Well, when I look through this 11, it doesn't strike me of a team that's 1 from 3. Lots of power up top with Hose and Munro, and the likes of Alex Hale will be the super sub, I'm sure. Shafane Rutherford, excellent player, but the 2 key additions, Patirana and Luke Wood, left arm pace, right arm pace, that's a really strong 11.
It certainly is, both teams, very strong 11s for both. It's going to be interesting to see how they work it all out, because quite heavy workloads as we move into this part of the tournament. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to find out about, well, this legend right here, Azam Khan. He's been on fire so far in the DP World ILT20. We learn a little bit more about him. We'll see you soon. Quite the crowd arriving here at Sharjah Cricket Stadium, and quite the atmosphere that is building as we get ready for match number 13. It is the Desert Vipers taking on the Sharjah Warriors. The Vipers won the toss. They are going to have a bowl first. The crowd is already loving the superstars that they have seen. But it's time for us to find out a little more about an up-and-coming superstar, Azam Khan.
MMA जब मैंने देखना स्टार्ट की तो अब मैं देख रहा हूँ मुक्के लग रहे हैं, लाते लग रहे हैं, खून निकल रहा है. थोड़ा अजीब फील होता है कि यार ये तो बड़ा ट्रॉमेटाइजिंग स्पोर्ट है. उसके बाद जब मैं क्रिकेट में आया हूँ तो मैंने ये फील किया कि अगर वो लोग इतने मुक्के खा सकते हैं, उनके मुंह से खून निकल रहा है, नाक टूट रही है, हाथ टूट रहे हैं, तो मुझे जैसे बॉल खानी है अपने जिस्म पे फास्ट बॉलर की.
That is serious from Azam Khan.
उस चीज़ के बाद से काफ़ी आई थिंक क्रिकेट में सुधार आया है.
My name is Khan. Azam Khan.
मेरे से बड़े सुपरस्टार तो जाहिर सी बात है मेरे फादर हैं. उन्होंने 14 साल पाकिस्तान के लिए क्रिकेट खेली है, इतने इंटरनेशनल मैचेस खेले हैं, वर्ल्ड कप विनर. तो मैं तो अभी उनके करीब भी नहीं हूँ. आई एम फ्रॉम प्रिविलेज बैकग्राउंड, बट अगर मुझे अगर क्रिकेट खेलनी थी तो ही हैज़न्ट सपोर्टेड मी फाइनेंशियली. उन्होंने बोला कि आपने जो करना है अपनी ज़िंदगी में खुद करना है इफ़ यू वांट टू बी अ क्रिकेटर, क्योंकि अगर तुम मेरे उस भरोसे पे रहोगे तो यू वोंट गो एनीवेयर. डन है.
A lot of people say that your physique is not that of an international athlete. इसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? I'll just put it like that.
I'll just say that compete with me in the ground if you don't think of me as an international athlete. जहाँ तक commitment की बात है ground के अंदर, अगर आप वो मुझसे कभी भी missing हो, then I'd be like, yeah, I have to work on myself. I do have to work on myself, but showing the commitment on the ground, I would never look back for it. I don't consider myself as a star. अभी तो बहुत जर्नी बाकी है. खुशी ये होती है कि इतनी सी उम्र में भी इसे इतना लव मिल रहा है, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप इस चीज़ को अपने सर पे सवार कर लें। जिस दिन आपने सोच लिया कि आपने सब कुछ हासिल कर लिया, उस दिन आप ख़त्म हो जाएंगे। तो आई थिंक ये एक चीज़ है जो मैं अपने साथ हमेशा लेके चलता हूँ।
What a character, what a star, and I love his attitude. And Jim, I mean, what a player, and one we'll be watching with interest this tournament.
I think it's a great feeling for any family to, watch their son go out there and play in ILT20 and do so well. In the first game, again, in the last game, rather than the first game, he played so well, especially against the Gulf Giants. He went out there and made sure that, he gets the team to the victory that they desired. He looks a bit heavy, but at any point of time, it's just the heavy stuff that he's giving to the bowlers or the opposition in terms of his batting or even his wicket keeping. That was an outstanding catch. There were a couple of catches, in fact, but it's a very, very nostalgic moment, and it's a very proud moment for the family as well.
Absolutely is, and you're right, he's very dynamic in the field. Now, Alex Hales is a player for the Vipers that we watched, last season, just hit it to all parts of all of the grounds here at the DP World ILT20, yet to fire this tournament.
Yeah, he's a long way from firing right now, and just speaking to him and getting a sense of how he is mentally right now, I don't think he's in the best place mentally and technically and tactically to go out and perform the feats they did last season. If you look through his numbers and how he goes about his business, this is how he's gone this year. I'm looking at the backlift, or lack of it. There's no real intent here, but where are the bowlers bowling? They're bowling tight to the stumps, they're cramping in for rooms, because you remember last season, releasing those long levers and launching the ball over leg side. So maybe opposition had done a little bit of homework on him and just found out a little bit of a weak spot. It's only a small area. Career strike rate, 146, career average 30. Since the end of the last ILT20, career strike at 140, average 24. That's a significant drop.
One the Vipers will be needing a bit from tonight is Hasaranga. Again, with both bat and ball, he's done a great job so far, but there's still work to do.
There is still work because they pose of a very good combination in the bowling department for their side. So the batting department relies heavily on the top 4 or 5. For Hasaranga to walk in at 4 in the last game and play the innings like he did with an impressive strike rate of 170 plus was very, very effective and good. So if he can do that job, he can cover up for Alex Hales as well. But then they want Alex Hales to fire.
With the ball, what's he going to go like on this turf tonight?
This is a great venue for spin. It's the most profitable venue of the 3 we're going to use for spin bowling here in Sharjah. We're going to attack the stumps, Hasaranga. We say it all the time. Do not play him as a leg spinner. Play him as a googly bowler with the leg spinner turning away as the variation. He's going to bowl at the back of the hand and attack the stumps. If you're a right-handed batter, hit down the long on, leg side. Don't play through the offside.
All right, so who is your pick tonight, Anjum Chopra?
Sharjah Warriors.
Sharjah Warriors. Yes, girl. Yes. What about you, Niall?
That was said with conviction. I'm going to go against Anjum. I'm going to go, as I said last night, fangs out Vipers.
No, boy, no. Right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, will the Sharjah Warriors get the points, or will it be the Desert Vipers night? We'll see you soon.